What was good with the TikTok? Come drink a cup of coffee with me. Audience, come drink a cup of coffee with your boy. I was hearing about this New Orleans attack, and I was saying I was getting more information because I cannot trust the traditional media. I rather get my actual news and information from off of TikTok and the audience off of TikTok compared to traditional media, because they done bit me once before. And if you seen Lion King, when a monkey hit Simba on top of the head, he said out the first time, and he said, why you do that? He swung the second time and he ducked. That's because he learned from his mistakes. And my mistakes was trusting the traditional media, and I stopped, right? Back in 2016, maybe, is when I really my eyes really started opening to traditional media. So when I seen it, I was like, let me slow down. And before I just started talking about the dude and discrediting him, I came across more information, and it all led to terrorism. But something about it still was kind of tweaking at me. And then I heard somebody else that was in the military, and he had an opinion. And to be honest with you, it made a lot of sense. But this where a lot of my audience, me and you, we might split on the decision board of what do you think about the situation. Do you think that he's a terrorist, or do you think that the traditional media is giving us false information? Bow. Whoa, what's good with it? It's your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I'm up, and I'm trying to go live for 2025, but I'm gonna need your help. So I'm gonna need you to hit that follow and share button. And if you're a content creator and you would like to network, I'm with it, but you got to leave an actual conversation so we can network together if you would like to go live in 2025 with me. Well, with that being said, TikTok, this is for entertainment and entertainment purposes only. I ain't never think that I'd be want to say that, but I would like the audience, yes, you the audience, to know that I'm here to stay. Let's do this. But this will a lot of my audience, me and you, we might split on the decision board of what do you think about the situation. Do you think that he's a terrorist, or do you think that the traditional media is giving us false information? Don't. And I'm gonna see if I could try to clip his clip up there. That way y'all can see what I mean. It makes a lot of sense, and I'm gonna try to get it, because this is something that my last account got permabanned, and I don't want my account to be permabanned the most. So I'm trying to tiptoe around, because I want to be here, because I told everybody that I ain't going nowhere. Well, anyway, though, check out the clip. And if y'all fuck with me, hit that follow button. Trying to go live for 2025. Let's do this.
What up, y'all? I had to stop and make this video, y'all, because this thing with the New Year's Eve thing down in New Orleans, man. I've been keeping up with this story, man. And me being ex-military, you know what I'm saying? 13 Fox, fire support, Fort Sill, Oklahoma Army. So a lot of stuff ain't adding up, y'all. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. I am a critical thinker, and there's a lot of stuff about this story that ain't adding up. And I'm gonna give y'all what I feel like. And I'm listen. The only reason I'm giving y'all this is because I feel like, as ex-military, we gotta also look at it for this service member, man. This guy was in the military for about 13 years, man.
You see this right here? Pay close attention to.
And then they're tying him to ISIS. So on that note, I think we owe it to him to try to find some other perspective. And I'm gonna just tell y'all what I feel like so far, because it's some stuff that's on the news that ain't adding up. Anytime y'all see the news start pulling up a guy's credit history as a reason for him snapping, that sounds like a spin job to me. Y'all understand? 20,000 in debt, 30,000 in debt. Listen, almost every United States citizen has debt nowadays.
Especially if you're a survivor of the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris administration.
That's not going to be enough to make somebody snap and go off the loose end. It ain't making no sense. On top of that, they said this guy was looking for as many casualties as possible, right? They said he wanted to inflict as much damage as possible. If that's the case, why didn't he wait until the Super Bowl? It's not adding up. They said this guy wants to inflict as much damage as possible. He drove from Texas. My home state is Austin, Texas. I don't know if y'all realize this, but New Year's Eve, Texas is a much larger crowd than New Year's Eve, Bourbon Street in New Orleans.
Okay, hold up. Hometown talk. Texas do not go harder than Louisiana, especially on Bourbon Street. But I give them credit for that. They do have more people.
Do y'all understand what I'm telling y'all? So if they're saying he's looking for mass casualties, in a situation where he's looking for mass casualties, why would you go drive all the way from Texas to New Orleans when you were in Texas, which has a much larger crowd?
This is when I had that eureka moment when he really started breaking it down.
And then I look at this thing where the blocks weren't finished getting installed, two specifically. How would he know that? So I get to digging around and I'm thinking, man, y'all, excuse me because I'm a critical thinker. And when I hear something off, it's off. You know what I'm saying? And when I looked at the news report, I seen this AI generated photo. This is a guy with no arrest history or anything like that, but he got an AI generated mugshot now circulating on the news. So that brings me to the question. Remember, this guy was intel, right? You understand? He worked at IT, HR, etc. He was pretty good at intel. That was his job. Me, I'm 13 Fox Forward observers. You understand? Snipers, whatever y'all want to call it. Listen. Check this out, y'all. The stuff. And then they say he was his first marriage. That's what they keep saying. He was first married and he got divorced. So if they're saying his first marriage, you know what that tells me? That means he got remarried.
We building, keep paying attention.
Why would you be saying first marriage if there isn't a second marriage? You understand? So if this man was remarried, then why would he be snapping years later about his first marriage? That ain't enough to make up for what they saying. Jump out, mass casualty situation, trying to wipe out everybody. I'm gonna give y'all, listen, this is hypothetical.
This might be hypothetical, but it sounds more plausible than the traditional media information that they were giving us.
I'm just doing this because the guy's military, ex-military. I think we owe it to him to at least throw some stuff out there. You understand? Listen, what if?
Now, this is the statement that actually had me with my eureka moment.
What if this so-called terrorist guy here, right? What if he came across a false flag operation, right? What if he came across a false flag operation that our government was getting ready to do? You understand? What if he came across this? What if he made his superiors aware of this false flag attack, right? Remember, this is a patriot. What would a normal patriot do if you became aware of a false flag attack and you realize the ones above you were not going to do anything? You go try to stop it yourself, right? Wouldn't you? If you are a patriot, not normal people. If you are a patriot.
Okay, before you get offended, a normal person would be somebody like me and what is called a civilian, right? That's something a civilian like me, something I would be capable of doing. But I have people that was in the army, the military. When it comes to a position of something like that, you'll see some a little bit more thought out and more advanced.
You are aware that a bunch of American citizens were about to be taken away to some type of attack. And the ones above you weren't doing anything, right? That would explain why you drove from Texas all the way to New Orleans. See what I'm saying?
This is my last time. I'm going to let the man speak.
From Texas all the way to New Orleans. Now, they found explosive devices that were planted, and they say multiple people were planting the devices. So that makes me wonder, okay, if he drove from Texas to New Orleans, remember, this is military personnel. You mean to tell me with all this expertise and all this planning, the biggest plan he could come up with for a massacre was to plow a car into a crowded group of New Year's Eve people? Are y'all telling me that's the best he could have came up with? It's not adding up, because that sounds like the plan of somebody who's like an amateur. You see what I'm saying? In military terms, if y'all get where I'm going. But it's not adding up. Me personally, I believe This guy might have came across a false flag attack. He saw nothing was getting done, and he decided to go on his own and stop said false flag attack. Because remember, if there are explosive devices, why didn't they go off? They can give all the spins they want, but it don't sound right. They think the American people just buy whatever story they put on the news. If the explosives didn't go off, so that makes me wonder, wait, maybe his goal in the first place was to stop the explosives from going off, was to stop the terror false flag attack. Get what I'm saying? He showed up there. Whatever happened to him in the car before he crashed happened. But his main purpose was to stop whoever from exploding these devices. That's what it feels like to me. And I feel like since he stopped those devices from going off, the powers that be said, we're just gonna paint him as the terrorist. The guy pretty much went out there and sacrificed himself for his country because he didn't want people to get blowed up with some intel that he knew about. There was no time left, so maybe he went out to try and stop it on his own. And this whole thing y'all see with them sealing off stuff, trying to check his, maybe they're trying to cover tracks. Maybe they're trying to get rid of whatever he found. Because as an explosives expert, him detonating the explosives would have been the simple thing to do, right? If he showed up, crashed out, then pulled out a weapon, opened fire, he knew before that moment, at some point, that his end was near. Why wouldn't he set out the explosives? So, was he actually the one who was trying to carry out the plot? Or was he the one that actually stopped it from happening? So to save face, they're gonna just pin it all on him. I just saw a video where the police officers in that area are going through checking the trash cans for explosive devices with flashlights. They're checking the trash bins with flashlights for explosive devices in some areas. Once again, y'all, if he was a mass terrorist, right? Why wouldn't he wait till the Super Bowl? Why would he be driving in the opposite direction of where the games are? Or was he headed somewhere to stop an attack that he knew of? Makes more sense to me, especially when they say there's a video recording of him claiming to be part of ISIS. Listen, y'all, AI has some cool tricks it can do. When they call your phone, you hear that phone beep and no one says nothing, it takes AI 3 seconds to mimic your voice completely. Y'all understand? So when you get that beep on your phone, don't respond to it. Don't keep talking because it's learning you. So I'm telling y'all, be careful. Don't believe everything that come on the news because some ain't adding up. I believe this guy might have been stopping the attack.